on the 21st of April, I traveled to the United States of March. I think I'm trying to run the year. So it was the 21st of March, I left for the U.S. To visit other law enforcement bodies to seek help for the LNP and improve collaboration and cooperation with other agencies. We were able to visit few departments, law enforcement departments in the U.S. To ask for some help. We visited the state of Minnesota. The Brooklyn Park Police Department was our first area because that's where we have the largest concentration of Liberians within that state. And they were very gracious. That meeting was organized by the former councilman, Mr. Winfred Russell. It brought together a lot of people who have been supported to Liberia, the leadership of the Liberian community there, the head of one of the biggest Liberian congregations in the U.S., two former city mayors of the city of Brooklyn Park, prosecutors and other people. I mean, these are people who have just been quite supportive to the cause of Liberia. Some of them have never been here, but some they've just gravitated towards supporting the Liberian people and Liberia. So from that meeting, well, the meetings were in twofold. The one with the police chief was just, it was one, and then the rest of the folks in a separate meeting. The police department there has committed to providing training for at least 30 Liberian National Police officers. They're going to go in two different sets, 15-15. And then it's not just going to be the Brooklyn Park Police Department. They're going to incorporate other cities around who have expertise in the subject matter that the trainings are going to cover, including the Hennepin Sheriff Office as well. So that commitment is there for the training. However, there's a lot of details that we still need to work on surrounding the logistics, how we're going to get in there, who's going to pay for it, and all of that component. I mean, it's something that we're working on. But we reach out to the Liberian community. They're willing to help in whatever regards we're looking for help from them, and that commitment is very, very solid. After that, we met with the group that I mentioned, including the Liberian leaders, and in that meeting, we got overwhelming support from the former mayors and the Liberian community as well. So we're still putting all the details together, but at least we can safely say we've secured training arrangements for 30 Liberian National Police officers. And what we intend to do is that these officers who will be selected, which is going to be a careful selection process, considering giving female priority, but we're going to ensure that all of these people who will be selected will have to first complete the instructor development course here at the Liberian National Police to ensure that they do have the ability to transfer knowledge, because this will be more of a training of trainers, so that when they return home, they will be able to transfer whatever knowledge they acquire from the U.S. to other officers who may not be privileged to go there at this time. So we're working out the details. We'll keep you informed as we progress in these areas. The next visit was at the U.S. State Department. It was a full day. It was a full day of meetings, and the meetings covered the Office of Global. The purpose of that meeting was to strengthen partnership and enhance our law enforcement service delivery. The meeting covered the Office of Global Crimes, the Office of Knowledge Management, and on to the Deputy Assistant Secretary to discuss the vision of LNP. So when these meetings from 9 o'clock straight to 3 o'clock, one meeting after another, discussing different issues as to how we can gain support. So as we went into that, there were other issues that came about that we had to address, but it's all about just preparing us to improve our service delivery. the vision that was presented is the same that I shared with you all, and it's all about transforming the LMP, professionalizing it, and moving on from our traditional policing to more of an intel-led, community-oriented policing that we're going to be blending with the issue of conflict sensitivity and anti-fragility. So this vision, we're looking more as reducing our use of force and being more of consensus building, engaging the general community, getting the all of community support in our everything that we do. It's all about bringing service alive. And because of this, it now changes the dynamics of the setup and the structure. It now provides more leadership role for female officers, because the issue that we're addressing here is that we want to make sure that there's equal opportunity for male and female. It doesn't mean that we all have to do the same kind of work, but the opportunity should be equal for both genders. So with this new philosophy that we're driving, it will give rise to availability of more senior roles for female officers. And so we're looking at least 33.3%. That's the floor, and we're not saying that's where it stops. And there's nothing that limits it from going as high as it can get. And that's why we're going to be providing all of the support to ensure that it increases, because this new structure now provide more roles that female leaders can now occupy. So what part of the discussion was to make a determination as to how we can develop female officers to now start to improve on their ability to take on most of these leadership positions. We're working closely with the INL and IDLO. IDLO is the implementing partner for INL that's driving this, and they have an excellent team. That team has been engaging with the LMP. They're currently running projects with us to ensure that this vision comes alive. The next step growing out of this visit is the support for the amendment to our administrative instructions and our administrative regulations. And if we also see need to look at amendment of the Police Act as well, it will reach to that point. But the first and foremost focus is to look at the administrative instructions and regulations. And the reason why we're looking at this point in time is to give it a more gender-sensitive review, to include more issues, to incorporate things that were left out that supports the drive for this entire increase in female participation. And the reason why we're driving this is because, for a very long time, I think females have been left out, especially when it comes to the security sector, and the opportunities have not been fully given to them. So it's only fair that as the philosophy changes and it now brings on more positions that they can occupy, that we give them the chance to do so. Why we desire to get to this 33.3%? We may not have developed at this particular point in time sufficient female to occupy all of those positions. And working with IDLO and the INL, the LMP, we're now developing the succession plan, which will be supported by the development plan. So take, for example, if we do the exercise, everybody apply and we get all of the officers we want in these different positions, and we get, let's say, like 22% female, that means we still need to do more to reach our floor. So what do? We look at the development plan and see where they are, what's required to bridge the gap, so that we can get them operationally ready for these different levels of promotion. We're trying to, part of the discussion was to bring forth the order of merit system in the Liberia National Police, because this thing has been on the books forever. It's been written, beautifully printed there, but it's just never come alive. I've written the Minister of Justice to ask for the induction of the Policy Management Board, and once the board sits, the board will start to review all of the different, so we, as part of the exercise, we've gone ahead to attach the requirements for rank. So take, for instance, almost all the officers you see here, but 5, excluding we who are appointed by the president, there's only 5 officers in the Liberia National Police that had ever been commissioned by the president, by a president, not this president, but I think it was Madam Salif then. So only those five officers hold permanent ranks here. Everybody else you see with rank, they're acting. So right now we've set requirements for all of those ranks, and they will be going in to verify. So if you're acting at a rank, you now have to go there to see if you have what is required to even hold that rank that you're acting with. And if you do not meet the requirement, automatically you will have to adjust to where you fit within that process. When that is done, we're going to send it to the promotional board. The promotional board will review it, and then we'll now have people applying for different positions. Before that rank will be given to them, they will have to go back into the academy, do their testing, do their training. We first do training because we want to orientate them, because some of these people haven't been back to the academy almost 10 years for no in-service training. So they will be orientated and then given the test. And if you pass the test, then it's forwarded for appointment, and then we ask the president to come and commission where necessary. Then the officers will officially have the ring. And then when that foundation is built, it will, one, try to reduce the illegitimate political interferences and the outside recommendations, not just from government officials, but from everybody else. Friends, family, everybody else knows somebody who must be promoted. So now it takes that responsibility away, that headache away from you, and put it on what is written, what it should be the guiding principle, because now you have in place an order of merit that has been built for the institution. So the State Department warmly welcome the division. They're willing to support. There's no official commitments, but after here there will be a meeting, a follow-up meeting immediately after. There will be a follow-up meeting with the State Department through the INL. The program officer will be here for us to further discuss the issues, and I know that there will be help coming our way from that regard. We also met with the former, after that meeting, the former chief of the Minneapolis Police Department, Chief Nario Aridan. That was the chief that handled the George Floyd situation in Minnesota. He's regarded as one of the top law enforcement practitioners in the U.S. who have managed serious conflicts. I had the opportunity to work closely with him while I was there. So he has committed to come to Liberia to visit us soon to have some leadership training with senior management here at the LND. When we finalize all of the arrangements for his travel to Liberia, we will inform the press, and then he will come here to provide some of his expertise and share his experience in managing the George Floyd situation. There's so much that we can talk about, but I think I wanted to give time for questioning.